risk. So the first thing you're going to do is go to domainingservers.com. You can look at their shared hosting plans. If you want to get the cheapest price per month, you'll go to the yearly billing and you'll pay the $1.95 per month, and it comes out to about $12 a year, $24 a year. I must have had a coupon because I got mine for about $12 a year. Then the next thing you want to do is go to GoDaddy or whatever host, change your name servers to ns1.domainnameservers.com and ns2.domainnameservers.com. You'll get an email with a control panel where you'll type your username and password. When you're signed in, you'll see that there's an option to install WordPress. Without installing WordPress, I can go take a look at my website and it just brings up a regular Unix type website. It shows you your htaccess and CGI bin. So what we're going to do now is install WordPress. Very simple process. Read everything that's on the screen. Read the license agreement of WordPress. And then when you're ready, type in your admin username. Mine, I'm going to enter in Domain Panacea. And then I'm going to enter in a password, which I'm not going to tell you. If you want, you can set it in the root, which I prefer to do. So I'm going to remove WordPress from the root directory here, from the directory, install directory. Click install. It literally takes 5 seconds. And it's installed. That is it. WordPress is now active on the site. If I refresh domainpanacea.com, which is the root directory, you can see it is set up already. WordPress just works that easily. The next thing we're going to do is install MultiSite into Domain Panacea, which is going to tell it that there's multiple websites running on this one WordPress installation. I'm going to get rid of this welcome message, dismiss this. I'm going to upgrade WordPress because it looks like it wasn't upgraded to the latest version. Since it's a brand new install, very easy to upgrade it, and I'm done. There's a confirmation screen. I'm going to go back to my homepage. All right, so here's a fresh installation of WordPress. I'm signed into the WordPress admin screen. First thing I'm going to do is actually connect to the IP address of this account that was in the email address with my username and password specified in that email from domainingservers.com. I'm going to go to the root, and I'm going to look for wp-config.php. There it is right there. I'm going to double click it and download it to my downloads folder so I have a copy locally. Now I'm going to start up my editor. You can use text editor. You can use any type of editor that you want. I'm going to open up my editor, open up this file, and the first thing I'm going to do is copy in a statement that tells WordPress that MultiSite is going to be installed. I can find that statement on the codex of WordPress. The codex is where WordPress tells us all the information that we should know about WordPress. I'm going to give you the URL below this video. I'm going to go back to my editor and paste it in just before the end of my wp-config.php file. I'm going to save it. Then I'm going to go back to my FTP manager and I'm going to upload it. So now it's up on the server. Now when I refresh, I will see some new options in my dashboard. And I will see the option for network setup. You follow the directions on creating a network, allow subdirectories, the network title, you can specify an alternate email address. These are all fine. I'll change the network name to Domain Panacea. Email address is fine. And then I click install. Next, it tells me a few more steps that I need to follow. First, I want to create a directory called blogs.dir, and I want to create it in a specific location. So I'm going to use my FTP editor. All right, that step is done. The next step is to add the following information to your wp-config.php file. So I'm going to copy this information. I've already been in the wp-config file, so I'm going to paste it right there, save it, go back to my FTP program, upload it. Whoops, I uploaded in the wrong location, so I'm going to delete it. I'm going to go back to my public_HTML, and there I'm going to upload it. It should replace that other config file. Do I want to replace it? Okay. All right, and the third step is to add the following information to this specific file. So I'm going to download my htaccess file. I'm going to go in and open it. Whoops, I can't see it using the file editor I'm using. So what I'm going to do is go back to my FTP program, and I'm going to rename the file to a file name that allows me to see it, because it's actually a system file. And I can't see it in my download folder either, so what I'm going to do is edit it with FTP. Just take off that period at the beginning and put a text at the end, .txt. Now I will be able to see it and open it. There it is. I open it. I'm going to replace what's in this file with what I just copied, what WordPress is telling me to use. I'll save it. Then I'll actually rename this back to .htaccess, the original file. And before I overwrite this file, I think I'll just tack on a -old there and then upload the new file. If I need to revert to the old file, then I'll still have it. All right, so now I'm going to refresh my website over here. Because I changed some config files, it's going to ask me to sign back in again, so I'm going to do that. And now, we will see some new options. Now, my network of websites is completely set up. I can look at all of my sites by clicking Sites, All Sites, and I can add a new site by typing in the details here and clicking Add Site. The next thing I want to do is add a plugin called WordPress MU Domain Mapping. So I'm going to download this plugin, which is a piece of software that works in WordPress. And I'm going to go to the plugin section, and I'm going to click Add New. I'll select the Upload option. I will choose my file, which is on my download folder, and click Install Now. It's just that quick. Then I'm going to network activate it so it works across my network of sites. And there it is. You can see WordPress MU Domain Mapping. Now, there's a few more things that I need to do in order to make this work properly. It tells me exactly in the installation instructions on the website. First thing I need to do is move a specific file to wp-content.com. So I'm going to go to my FTP program again called FileZilla. I'm going to go to my plugin folder. And there's the new domain, the new plugin. I'm going to select that file, and it tells me to put it in wp-content.com. So I'm going to drag that and drop it right into WP Content. It's that easy. The next step is to edit the config file and uncomment out Sunrise or add in this specific command. All right, easy enough. I'll copy that. I'm going to go back to FTP. We know the wp-config.php file is in the public_HTML. It's in the root directory. I don't know if it's been updated by one of the files, so I'm going to refresh and then download this file again. It looks like it is the same file, but it doesn't hurt to download it one more time. Now I'm going to go back to my text editor and open it. And I'm going to do a quick search for the word Sunrise to see if there is a command in the config file already. There isn't. So now I'm going to paste in that command that it told me to paste in. I save it, and then I re-upload it and overwrite the old file. Done with that step. Now I move on, and that's all the steps I need to do. So as a super admin, I can now go to domain mapping. So I'm going to start up this again, refresh the page. Now I see domain mapping and domains. So I'm going to go to the domain mapping section. And the first thing I need to do is get the server IP address. You follow the instructions on the page, it will tell you exactly what you need to do. I need to ping the server and get the IP address. So I'm going to copy domainpanacea.com. I'm going to start up on a program called Terminal on my Macintosh, and I'm going to type in ping and then the URL. I have an error here, unknown host, so I'm going to type ping and then just the URL without the HTTP. You can see that it is pinging it and coming back and telling me that the IP address for that domain name is 173.231.10.35. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that IP address, come over to my website, paste it in right there. Now I'm going to set a couple of these flags. I'm going to uncheck the first one, check the second one, check the third one, uncheck the fourth one, and hit save. Done. My domain mapping is now set up. And if I click domains, you can see that there are no domains set up using this plugin. The next step is to actually set up some domains. I know the IP address that my website is on. So I'm going to go to my GoDaddy account where I host my domains. I'm going to go into domain management. I'm going to set up a second domain on this domaining servers account called Island Founders. I live on Bainbridge Island. I'm going to organize a bunch of founders, entrepreneurs. So what I need to do is go into the DNS manager. You simply click launch and it will start it up. I want an A record that points at this IP address. So I'm just going to edit this IP address in here. That's my A record, and done. Now I want to make sure that there's CNAME record for www pointing to the @ symbol. So it'll redirect to that IP address. I'm going to save my zone file. Done. Now the domain name is pointing at the server. So now I need to say to the server, get ready to receive this domain name traffic. So I'm going to go down in my cPanel, and I'm going to go to Park Domains. I'm going to enter in domainpanacea.com, and I'm going to park it there. Now it's going to see, okay, Mike has an account. It goes to this hosting account, and it has this domain name, additional domain name, coming in potentially. So we're going to associate it with the hosting account. All right, the domain is parked. We got confirmation. I'm going to go back. Now the next step is to actually add the domain name using the plugin that we just installed. I can search for domains or type in new domains. The default domain is always #1. This is going to be site ID 2, islandfounders.com. I'm not going to make it the primary. I'm going to click save. I'm going to show you why I do that. I always prefer to put a www in front of my domain names. Personal preference. I think people understand what the www is and they identify with it. I'm going to select this one as the primary domain. Click save. All right, so now I've got my 2 domain names. So the entire system understands that the domains should be coming in and where they should be pointed to. Now I physically need to set up the website for it. It's going to be at domainpanacea.com/islandfounders. This is just location on the server. I'm going to give it a title, Bainbridge Island Founders, and the admin address is going to be my usual. And I'm going to click Add Site. that is it. We have just set up the entire website. Here's the root. Here's my island founders. I'm going to start up a new tab with the root domain, which is domainpanacea.com. You can see it. At the top it says your blog. I'm going to start up another tab that says islandfounders.com. It now resolves. It says Bainbridge Island Founders. It is the standard WordPress install. You can see the difference between the two domains. You can see that they're both operational. They both work. I can actually enter the admin section for islandfounders.com by typing in my username and password. And I can edit the post that's there. And I can change it to say, instead of Domain Panacea, which is the standard name, I can now change it to say Island Founders. Update it. Go to the live site. And you can see that the changes I make are live. Next time, we will look at different ways to build content websites, how to search engine